And breathe, Roosters fans, and breathe. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the match recaps here on the City Roosters Diehards. The Roosters come away with a 38-24 win over the Brisbane Broncos against here at Allianz Stadium tonight. 5 wins in a row, but I think the story out of the game was, I think it's fair to say, just forget that last 20 minutes. That 20-minute period, let's just forget about it. Because apart from that, we were phenomenal until the game changed. And for a while there, I thought the Broncos are going to run home with it. We led 30-0. Broncos scored 4 quick tries. All of a sudden, it was 30-24. And it was squeaky bum time, to say the least. But, we got away with it. We got a lucky sin bin. I mean, it wasn't lucky. It was just blatantly stupid from Tony Staggs. But we got lucky there. Took the 2. We scored later to take the game out of reach to win 38-24. Look, it's hard. It's a weird one. Tonight's game's a weird one. Like, do we look and talk about 60 perfect minutes, or do we talk about a 15-minute period where we were awful and we let them back into the game? I think we just need to accept that happened. I mean, the Broncos, they're a good side, and the Broncos can do that. I think it's fair to say that this is not new against for the Broncos. The Broncos can, they just flick that switch and they're never out of the game. Like, you look at the World Club Challenge, look at the grand final, you look at their finals run last year. That was sort of their game plan. They get to a ridiculous margin behind and they just snap their fingers and come back and win. So I guess the way that we're able to hang on is a positive, but look, it's just one of those things. Broncos, the defending premiers, they're a good side, and they never give up. They never give up. So it's good credit to them. They stuck with it. They were down 30-0, but they had that belief that they can come back. We didn't help ourselves, but once we started to, sort of just, settle down and relax and get back to our style, then we were able to hang on and win the game. So, look, I think it's fair to say, we'll just ignore that 15 minutes and focus on a really positive 55, 60 minutes in the lead up. I don't think we take too much off it. But at the end of the day, doesn't matter how you win them, we win them 38-24. 5 wins in a row. We're currently third. We just need results to go our way to remain in the top 4 this week. A little bit of a scare, but at the end of the day, we recovered and we won the game. So we won the game from our start. It doesn't matter how you finish them, as long as you set the tone from the early stages, and we win the game. So you rather have these sort of critiques when we win a game. So, but in the game itself, look, I think the first half we had a little bit of luck, with refereeing and that, but it comes and goes. The second half, the last 25 minutes, the Broncos were getting everything. But started the game well. DCE carved them open early. I think Toop scored. He equaled Billy Slater. He's now on 190 tries, the third of all time. So congrats to Toops. Could have had 191, but he was pulled back for an obstruction late on, but he still remains equal with Billy Slater. Hugo scored off a great grubber. Then Sam Walker, grubber, got a ricochet, scored. Got a little bit of luck, but at the end of the day, that you make your own luck. So going into the Sheds 24-0 up, we were on top. We were dominating them. Lindsay, I was unlucky with the HIA, but Nafahu White and Nat Butcher, the start of the game, they were incredible when he come on for Lindsay. But the start of the game, Nafahu White, Victor were incredible to start the game. When Butch come on, create that spark and hold up that middle, he was fantastic. A little bit of carnage from both teams tonight. Marky Mark went off with a foot injury. Cody Ramsey made his Roosters debut, so congrats to Cody. He started the game well. Unfortunately, he didn't finish well, but he started well. End of the day, he's a Rooster now, so congrats to Cody Ramsey on becoming a Rooster, making his Roosters debut tonight as 18th man. But going to the Sheds 24-0 up, happy days. We're showing up, we were just up for the fight. We were just better to start the game, and then come out the second half, right attitude, same sort of go forward. We're just punching through, and we're making life hard for the Broncos. Nat Butcher scored a pretty soft try. It's 30-0. It's happy days. And it was sort of the question was well, by how much? And then I don't know what happened, but a little bit of a brain snap from Hugo in the corner there. We made a break down the sideline, tooth back inside the Hugo. He tried to cut back inside the take on Reece Walsh. He should have just cut back on the outside and go straight towards the post. It would have been 36-0. And I don't think the game, sort of turned to the way it was. And then a few set restarts got the Broncos on the board. It was okay. Like, you know, it was unlucky. We defended a couple sets on our line. We could, you know, and the Broncos finally we just finally cracked 30-6. That following set we forced an error and we sort of kept them down the other end of the field. And then what happened next was I just can't describe it. So the way it started, so it was down there in the corner. We pinned them in their own 20 for the full set. Reece Walsh kick out of yardage, simple catch from Cody Ramsey, drops it cold. Unforced error, the Broncos march down the other end and score. Then the same thing, next set, they march upfield, put a crossfield kick up for Cody Ramsey. He somehow dropped it. Broncos get 6 more scored again. It's now 30-18. And then 3 penalties in a row. I'm very surprised that Victor wasn't sin bin then. I'm very surprised. I think the first one was soft. That first penalty was soft. But then back-to-back head highs from us. 3 multiple infringements in a row. That we were lucky they didn't go for 10. And then they scored again. It was 30-24. And, geez, it was squeaky bum time. And the Broncos, they kept coming at us. We defended our line. We got down the other end. The Stags sin bin. Stags is a grub. That was just a joke. You know what it was? It was because Hugo Savala dominated Katoni Stags all night. And all I heard going into this week, Katoni Stags, he should be picked for Origin. He's the best centre in the comp alongside Latrell. He's going to have a field day of Savala. And I said it all week, Hugo was going to do the job. And didn't he do the job? Apart from one sort of uncharacteristic error down there in the corner, he should have scored. Apart from that, he frustrated Katoni Stags. He owned him tonight. He had him in his pocket. Katoni Stags did nothing. Stags did nothing at all. Hugo was all over him. And it got to the point where Stags has had enough and his frustration got the better of him and just went elbowed Hugo straight in the noggin on the floor, sin bin, and that sort of killed the game for the Broncos. It was just stupid. But credit to Hugo. He had a fantastic game today. And I said it as a little bit of a joke. Is Hugo the informed centre in the comp? No, but he's been fantastic. He's doing a job. And you can see why Trent Robinson has kept Hugo at left centre and Billy Smith is still going to find it tough to get into the side. I'm just calling it as I see it. Hugo has done nothing wrong for his spot to be dropped. He will remain left centre for as long as he wants at the moment. So it was a test tonight and he passed with flying colours, I believe. We are starting to pick up here with the wind and we're here at the Allianz members too. And this is my second time being in the Allianz members and it is just awesome. And I want to start off with saying that everyone that was here that said hello to me tonight, you guys are awesome. Allianz members is the place to be. Like, it's such a great spot here. I loved it. Shout out to the Allianz members. Reece Robson scooped from dummy half after the kick for goal, 32-24. Scored again off Reece Robson, scored his second try as a Rooster, 38-24. We get the last laugh. Doesn't matter how you win them sometimes. We get the job done and we can celebrate winning 5 games in a row. A little bit of an injury concern with Marky Mark. Don't have a... Hey, how are we? Don't have a lot from Marky Mark, of course. He got taken off. I did notice that Cody Ramsey was on. So it's sort of a little bit of a reshuffle with the side. It's just hard with that 6-man bench now. When you have, you only allowed 4 on the field, right? You only allowed 4 on the field. So when Marky Mark went off, we had to activate our winger, which was Cody Ramsey. He come on, and then all of a sudden, we've got 3 players left kind of thing. We already used, like Lindsay Collins come off with the HIA. He got taken off. He was done. So all of a sudden, you've got players in and out of position. And then, obviously, Fekete didn't play tonight because of the HIA to Lindsay and bring on Cody. So we couldn't bring on Fekete because we would have used our 4th. And our 4th was Spencer, pretty much. So it's always hard how they do that. But, that's just part of it. I don't know when Reynolds went off for the Broncos, but he didn't play a major part either. Duffy played well, I think. I think he debuted against the Cowboys, so he's a good player. Had him in my super coach too, so for that rare occasion, I guess. But look, anyway, like at the end of the day, you get 2 points is 2 points. Doesn't matter how you get them. It's early in the season. We're 9 games into the season. We've lost 2 games, so 6 wins, 2 losses. We're sitting in the top 4, 5 wins in the row. It was perfect until it wasn't. So at the end of the day, it was great performance, enough to get the job done. So we take it and move on to next week. And But yeah, like I will say though, in that second half, very uncharacteristic errors like Toops. Like I've never seen Daniel Tupou when he's taking a crossfield kick or a bomb, look up and Jordan Ricky's coming at him. Like I've never seen Toops do that. He's always been rock solid, take the tackle, take the contact. He's never done that. Again, he's had a couple of uncharacteristic errors. Cody Ramsey, like few kind of, but apart from those, he was solid, right? He did a good job. Good on him. So, but like, no, not too sure what's going on with Marky Mark. We'll get an update from Robbo in the press conference later. Lindsay failed his HIA, so he'll probably be out next week. Victor on report twice. I think the hip drop will be a fine. I don't think that was too much to concern, and maybe grade 1 high tackle later. So at minimum a week for Victor. But I think he'll just get a fine and be okay. But in sort of individual performances, Teddy was amazing. Did just good things. Toots was solid for most of the game, but you know, a few errors. Fluff was fantastic. Bobby was a little bit quiet, but did his job. Cody Ramsey was solid. A few errors, but apart from that, I thought he was up for the challenge. The halves were fantastic again. DCE, fantastic. Sam Walker, fantastic. Couldn't fault him. That was what we've been waiting for, gelling together like that. And they both have just as much of an impact as they've done with each other. The Fahu White was, I think, for me, my best on. He was incredible in the middle. He just bashed that Broncos middle to start the game. Lindsay was unlucky with that HIA. Robbo was solid. When Nat Butcher come on, mate, like I said, I'm loving Nat as a front rower coming on playing in the middle. And I think if Lindsay's out, let's start with Nat Butcher next week. I think he's earned it. Gussie was solid. Siwa Wong solid. Victor was great. Victor's intensity and his contact to start the game, like he went after Carrigan all game. He was fantastic. Got a little bit wrong there with that high tackle and that, but apart from that, he was fantastic. Spenny was sort of limited minutes because of the way it went down with Marky Mark going off. We had to use our fourth player was Cody Ramsey. Wasn't supposed to be. Unlucky for Keddy. I guess that's sort of the way it is. He might probably play cup tomorrow now. So, but yeah, all in all, like we got the job done. Happy days. Doesn't matter how you get them, as long as we get them, and we celebrate it. So 5 wins in a row. Titans in Gosford next week on my birthday. So I won't be there unfortunately, but hopefully a win on my birthday would be fantastic. But yeah, great crowd tonight, 25,000, and always good to get up with a win. I think this is like our first. I think it's our last home game till like round 16 or something. It's pretty weird. Like I think we've got a home game next week, right? We've got Central Coast against the Titans in the Gosford. Magic Round is a home game, but it's in Brisbane. I think we've got a bye. Then we've got Melbourne, Canberra, and then Dolphins into home game against Cronulla. So got a fair trek away into our next home game here at Allianz. So, but you know, end of the day, I think it's going to sound like a broken record. 5 wins in a row. Doesn't matter how you win them. So, yeah, all okay in the end. But anyway, right, I think we're going to get kicked out of security now. I think we're one of the last in the members to leave. So anyway, thanks for tuning into the match recap. We'll be back on tomorrow for your weekend wrap-up, player ratings and that. Thank you for watching. I hope you guys enjoy. Hit that like button, subscribe, hit that thumbs up button, and follow on the Instagram for your latest Roosters updates, news, and opinions. Thanks for watching. Bye for now. Up the Chookies, and one last goodbye from Allianz Stadium.